In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this bandana with the scalloped edge. This pattern is very customizable. You can add as many rows as you like for the size. You can also adjust the strap size as well, and the colors too. If you prefer to do a alternating color scheme, or if you'd prefer a multicolored bandana, it's completely up to you. This is a very easy tutorial to follow and very adjustable in that regards. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to make this blue style, as you can see, with the scalloped edge. So yeah, keep on watching. If you've watched my previous tutorials, you would know that the 4.25mm hook is my go-to. A lot of the projects I have filmed so far, it just works the best for. So I'm using 4.25, but feel free to use anything between 4 or 5 mils, just for the sake of this pattern. And then once again, I'll have my stitch marker collection here as well, just in case. I don't think I'd need them for this tutorial, but like I've mentioned in the past, and I'll keep saying it in the next videos, stitch markers are always good just to have on hand. Scissors as well. And then I'm using this nice baby blue color for this bandana. This is acrylic yarn 8 ply, I believe. This was some leftover that I had from a project that didn't work out, so it's unraveled and I'm going to be reusing it today for this project. Okay, so we're going to start with a magic ring. There's plenty of tutorials online, but this is just how I do it. So whatever way you do your magic ring, follow it by 3 chains and it should look something like this. Now what we're going to do is just do 2 more double crochets so we have that set of 3. Just like that. So once you've done those 3 double crochets, you just want to chain 1 and then repeat it again. Oh. So you've done your first set of double crochets with 1 chain in between and then another 3 double crochet. So this will be acting as the top of the bandana. So once we've done those, we just want to pull on this tail from the ring to tighten it. Just like that. Now, yours should be looking something like this. What you want to do is chain 3 and then turn your work. Now, we're not going to be working in just front loops or just back loops. We're going to be working through both stitches at all times. So don't worry too much about trying to make sure what stitch you're going into. Just make sure you get them both. So from here, what you want to do is yarn over and do 2 more double crochets in that stitch where we had the chain 3 coming out of. So then this is your first cluster here. Chain 1, and then we're going to do this next 3 double crochets in the gaps here. So like in the gap. So in that middle part here, do the 3 double crochets. Okay, so you've done your 3 double crochets here in that center gap. You want to chain 1 and do 3 more in that same space. There we go. Once you've done those 3 double crochets, making it a total of 6 with a chain in between them in that middle space, you just want to do chain 1 to finish that off and then do 3 double crochets in this corner space. It's a bit hard to see, but just try your best to find that space. And once you've got it, do your 3 double crochets. There we are. So you can see it's starting to take shape a bit. We're going to just keep working on rows until we get the desired length. So from here, you've done your 3 double crochets in that end. You want to chain 3. So you just want to flip your work, yarn over and do 2 more double crochets in that same spot where the chains are coming out of. And now as we as we are working through the rows, there'll be more gaps to complete. So you'll have this gap in the middle here to do your chain, sorry, to do your next 3 double crochets in, just like that. Chain 1, and then in that center space we're going to do the 3 double crochets, adding a chain, and then doing the next 3 double crochets. Just like that. Chain 1, and then do our 3 double crochets in this next space. And then your final 3 double crochets in this corner space as well. There we go. Now I'm going to do the chain 3 here and then flip my work before I start this next row, but yours should be looking something like this. So you can see here I have worked out the rows to this desired length. I have done about 9 rows so far. Don't forget, we will be adding a little bit of a scalloped edge, which will add about an extra row in length. So if that's something that you're really cautious of when making the size, keep that in mind. But I have just done 9 rows, tried it on as I've gone, and made sure it sort of sits where I'd like it without worrying about adding any more lengths. So from here, to do the scalloped edge, so I've just chained 1 after my 3 double crochet set just here on the end. Now I'm going to turn my work, and then what I'm going to do is working with 2 of these clusters. So I'm going to be doing the scalloped edge along 2 of the clusters. So every 2 cluster will have a arched row on top of it, if that makes sense. In this instance, we've got 7 stitches that we're working with. So what we're going to do for the first part of the scalloped edge is, in this chain stitch we're currently in, I'm going to do a single crochet, just like that, yarn over, and then do a half double crochet in the second one, and then I'm going to do a double crochet in the third one. So just like that, on top of that first cluster, you should have a single in the first stitch, a half double crochet in the second, and then a double crochet in the third. Now in this gap, what I'm going to do is do 3 double crochets. So just like we've been doing with the clusters, but I'm going to just add 3 double crochets in this space. Now we're on the second cluster here as a part of our scallop. We're just going to reverse it. So we're going to do we're going to do just 1 double crochet. I realized that would have sounded confusing if I said single double crochet. So after that cluster in the gap, we've done the 1 double crochet just here. And now to reverse it still, we're going to do the half double crochet in this one here. And then in this final stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. Just like that. So you can see we've got the scalloped edge over the 2 clusters. Now to start the next scalloped edge, we've got this gap here in between that last cluster of this scallop and the new cluster. So to join them on seamlessly, I'm just going to do a slip stitch in that gap. So then now we're going to just repeat the pattern. So single crochet in that first stitch, half double crochet in the next one, like that, a double crochet in the third stitch, 3 double crochets in the gap, just like that, and then we're flipping the pattern. So now we're doing the 1 double crochet in that next stitch, a half double crochet in the following, and then a single crochet on the end, just like that. So you can see here so far we've got the 2 scalloped edges. Now I'm just going to work this all the way around and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So I'm working through the scalloped edge still. You can see I've done this first side here so far. Now I'm just at this corner and I just wanted to show you. So I've done the last single crochet on the pattern just there. Now the gap that we chained 1 in between on this tip, we just want to do the we just want to do the slip stitch in that space. And then repeat the same scallop pattern. So single crochet, half double crochet, 1 double crochet in that stitch, 3 double crochets in that gap, and then double crochet in that next stitch, followed by a half double crochet, and then a single crochet, and then a slip stitch to finish that pattern off. So just like that. So we've done the edge like this, and I'm going to just finish off this side now as well. So this is how it should look at the end. We are going to bring out the scallops just a little bit more just to define them a bit, but yours should be looking something like this. So from here, all we're going to do is we're just going to chain 1 and turn our work. And then what we're going to do is just going to do a single crochet into every stitch on the scallop, and then in this gap in the middle we're going to, I'll show you what we do then actually, it'll be easier to show. So in that same stitch we're in, do a single crochet and then into every one after that. Now this last stitch here we do a single crochet in, and now in this space we're just going to put our hook through the gap and pull up a loop that way, so not through any of the stitches. And then just repeat that all the way around, doing single crochets through both loops into every stitch. Okay, so I am finishing off these last few single crochets along the scalloped edge. Now I'm going to stop 2 before the end so we can do our strap. So your scallops so far should look like this, like nicely defined, adding a little bit more in length but nothing crazy. So what I'm going to do here is with these last 2 stitches I'm going to work the strap in. However, on this side I'm just going to feed my hook through the second to last stitch and just work it from there. So this just saves us cutting off the yarn and then threading it back through again on this side. So from here, what I would do is just start chaining. I don't have a set number of chains that I do, purely because this is the part that goes at the back of your head. Okay, so this is the amount of chains I've done. I didn't count, I just went by feeling. And this is plenty with enough extra to tie a bow or just to knot it or however I want to attach it at the back of my head. So from here, what we're going to do is once you have your final number of chains, we're then just going to chain 1 extra. Now this doesn't count towards the count because it just allows us to start the next process. So from here, with your hook, go into the 3rd stitch from your hook and do a single crochet and keep going all the way along the chain until you're back at the start. Okay, so I've been working the single crochets all through that chain that we did for the bandana strap. You can see here I've got, it might be a bit hard to see, but you can see here I've got a few left. So in that last chain just here, I'm going to do a single crochet, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is go into that chain that we started the strap from and do a single crochet, as well as the one next to it, just to secure it in, like that. Now, what I usually would do, just to finish it off, is in this top part of the bandana here, in that technically next final chain, I'm just going to do a slip stitch. Chain 1, and then we can pull up a loop, and then we can cut the yarn. just like that. We'll weave in the ends at the last step, but you can see here that's the chain done. We're gonna go to the other side now, and like I mentioned, we're gonna start 2 from the edge, or 3, whatever you prefer. So I'm just going to go from the back side, say the 3rd one from the end, put my hook through, and then grab the yarn, pull up a loop, chain 1 with both of those threads just to really lock it in. And there we go. Now it's on the chain, we can start doing our straps. Now, because I didn't count how many chains I actually did, I'm just going to lay them next to the strap that we just completed and eyeball the length and hope for the best that it's the same, because these are the bits that are just going at the back of your head, like just to attach it and tie it up. They don't necessarily have to be the exact same, but as long as they're somewhat similar enough that you can actually tie a bow with or a knot, that's fine. So I'm just going to keep working through, and I'll show you what it's like when I have done the whole thing. Okay, so I've just finished off this second strap. I've just chained 1, and now I'm about to cut the yarn, just like that. Now, this is that tail from when we first started the strap, and then this is the final one. So what we're going to have to do now is weave in all of our ends. So starting from this middle one, so what we're going to do is we're just going to feed our hook through the next stitch, pull up that tail through, and just keep going all the way along. I know some people use an actual like needle, but I just find that this way has worked best for me. So just keep going enough so it's secured, and then in the final slot you're going to weave it through, go again in that same space just to really like lock it in, and then cut the yarn. And now I'm just going to do that for the ends as well here. So there you have it. There is our final bandana. I hope this tutorial made sense and it was easy to follow. You can see just the scallops do add a little bit of length, but it just adds a nice finished touch to it. These straps as well are long enough to do a bow or a knot as well. I am going to try this pattern again, but do different colors on each row. I think that would look nice, or even just like an alternating color scheme. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial, and if there's any others you would like to see from me, please let me know down below. But I'll see you in the next tutorial.